Hey everybody, welcome to Hockey SKATEDOWN. Before we get into the video, I just want to say thank you to all my subscribers. If you want to join our hockey team, it's free. Click subscribe, the notification bell to all. Thank you all so much, and let's get started. Devils fans, gather around. Let's just talk about this, because I know you're all as pissed as I am. I know we were all expecting some news to start breaking with GM news and coaching news and stuff like that. But, today was just an odd day. It was just an odd day. Going through an odd year. We were all expecting one of the big names to be our next head coach as of 2 weeks ago, with Laviolette being the front runner and Gallant's name still being there. But, once Lindy Ruff's name came in the conversation, kind of had an odd feeling about that one. I did a video about it a week ago, actually, and that's when his name was at the front of the list. So I kind of assumed that once the year was over with the Rangers, that he would be announced as our coach. And, it's just odd how this news is coming out today. Kevin Weeks today tweeted out that, breaking news to be expected, Devils to name Lindy Ruff as the next head coach. And interim tag would be removed from Tom Fitzgerald, which I love that. I really did want him to be our GM. I think he has a lot of passion for this team. He's learned a lot under a lot of different GMs, and I think Tom Fitzgerald is really going to nail this role here. So I'm excited about that. But the whole Lindy Ruff as our next head coach, I don't know. The thing that pisses me off is what happened with Laviolette. And I know we'll probably never know. Was it a money thing that they didn't want to offer him a certain amount that he wanted? Was it, Laviolette or one of the coaches not wanting to come here and deal with a team that had a lot of question marks and still, kind of trying to find their way in a lot of situations? So, maybe they wanted to go to better teams that had a better chance of winning. Who knows? We'll never know. So, we'll see what happens in time. So, I'm going to go through my list of pros and cons with Lindy Ruff, and maybe it'll help people sway their thinking of being less pissed off. So, that's why I kind of wanted to do this video. Because the more I read up on Lindy Ruff, it kind of calmed me down a lot. It really did. So, let's get into it. Lindy Ruff is 60 years old. He's been a head coach for 19 years, 15 with the Buffalo Sabres. He has 571 wins, 432 losses, 78 ties. He coached 4 years with the Dallas Stars. He won 165 games, lost 122, and 41 overtime losses. So he does have a winning record, which is good. He has a long history with, he has a good history with both teams, 15 years and 4 years. So he's been with both teams for a while. He's been with the Rangers for the last 3 years, being their assistant coach. And, he's a coach that preaches defense. That's what his thing is. He preaches defense, a defensive style game. He preaches his forwards to play defense. But there is a couple of question marks with his cons. And his pros are actually pretty good. So let's get into it. Concerns about his defensive versus offensive system in today's NHL. His system thrived a lot in the 90s when he coached the Buffalo Sabres, when it was more clutch and grab. It wasn't like today's game where you get called for everything. So we're going to have to see what happens with this. He's an old school coach who doesn't really do zone matching strategies. Doesn't like rolling four lines, which is... And sheltered, this is the thing that really bugged me when I read this. He sheltered rookies and fourth line guys, and he wants the top two lines to play good two-way hockey, which, it's understandable. You want your top lines to play good offense and as well come back on the play and play good defense. But I don't like how, when I read that he shelters rookies and fourth line guys. Because at times you want to see your fourth line guys go out there and bang some bodies or change the game in a way. His knock in the past was he always ran with a hot goalie and wore them out. Hopefully that doesn't happen with Blackwood. Blackwood has shown this year that he can handle a heavy load. He does have games where a lot of shots were against him, and he played relatively well in those games. So he can handle the workload, but you don't want to burn him out and hurt his development, because the kid is still young and he's still developing. And he gives the guys he trusts far more ice time than others. Let's get to the pros. He puts emphasis on defensive responsibility and two-way play. Does this mean less offense? That's the only thing that worries me about this. I want to see offense out of our players. We don't have a lot of offense to begin with. So when he likes to play more of the defensive players, are we going to see more of Zajac getting played? Because he's an older guy on the team, I want to see a lot of these younger kids develop more and try to concentrate on their offensive game as well as their defensive. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with this. He preaches accountability from all his players. He's got the ability to learn and make adjustments. He does his best to change his system to fit the personnel on his squad. He's very adaptable as a coach. And this is what a lot of people have said. He's a very respected coach. And a lot of players, a lot of coaches, a lot of people who've worked with him love him. They say he's a great guy. He's got a good sense of humor. He's very easygoing. He's very good at communicating with his players on the bench. So those are all good things you want from a coach. He's a hard-nosed coach who won't tolerate laziness or poor defensive play. That's great. He lets a player have it if he's not satisfied with their play, and that's another thing you want from your coach. You want your coach to really give it to someone if they're not giving it to, helping their team out on the ice. Great guy. A lot of the fans and the players liked the way he coached. So there's a lot of pros, a lot of cons. Do I like this decision still? Not as of now. But after reading this, I like what I've read. But the thing is, I don't like the whole thing with the offensive game. I don't want to shelter our young guys like Brad Gusev, especially, too. I know he's older, but, he's new to the NHL system. He's still trying to find his footing in his offensive game. I don't want him to concentrate more on defensive and, that take away from him still trying to develop his offensive game, especially Jack Hughes as well. So I hope he can adapt to our team. That's what I really hope. I hope that, Fitzgerald is going to make the right call with this. I really do. I know he has a history with him, and so does Mike Greer. Mike Greer has a history with Lindy Ruff as well, as he played for the Sabres when he coached, and Fitzgerald played for the Panthers when Fitzgerald was an assistant coach with the Panthers. So there is a bit of lineage there. We've seen that in the past with Shiro and Hines. Now we're seeing with Fitzgerald and Ruff and Greer. So hopefully it's a good thing. People like to work with people that they like and trust and know. So we'll have to wait and see, Devils fans. We'll have to wait and see. I really wanted Laviolette or Gallant, but it's going to be curious to see how this shakes out with Lindy Ruff. He's not officially announced. There is rumors he may be announced tomorrow, which is very odd. So expect it relatively soon that he'll be announced as our next head coach, because it's looking like that way. All the people are talking about it. All the big names like Darren Drager. I've seen it on TSN when they're doing their shows. They already have a clip of him, being announced as our head coach relatively soon. So, and we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. I'm just excited for the rest of the year. I hope they draft well. I hope they make the right decisions with personnel, their scouting department, if they're going to add any. If they're going to draft well, it's just, hopefully all the other decisions going forward is something Devil fans are excited about, because with this one, it's kind of, you're getting a mixed emotion with people that like it, okay with it, and don't like it at all, which I'm in the middle. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Comment below, let me know what you think about this. Keep it civil, because I know a lot of people would be cursing up a storm in there. But, let me know what you think. As always, thank you all for your time in watching this. Smash that like button and subscribe to the hockey channel. Join the hockey team. Thank you all so much. Have a good night. Have a great day tomorrow. Take it easy.